I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of Carrabelle's Community Redevelopment Agency. It's Tuesday, July 12th at 1:45. We were delayed a little bit because of a previous meeting. And we're at the Carrabelle City Complex, and I'd like to have the invocation and pledge to the flag. And Commissioner Allen will do the invocation. Thank you.
God and Father in heaven, we're so grateful for the beauty of this day, the beauty of this city, to come together and deal with things that pertain to our life, pleasure in this town, and for the future growth that we expect your blessings on us in these things. We ask you to be with us in our judgments, our wisdom, and for those that are unable to be with us, we ask you to be with them, especially those of our number that are dear in our hearts that are sick and having great difficulties. Be with those, you know the list. In His name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a quorum today. Rob Powers, Commissioner Allen, myself, Commissioner Walden, and someone entertain a motion to approve the June 20th CRA meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
Okay, and a second.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. A motion by Commissioner Allen, a second by Rob Powers. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And the motion carries. Okay, then we'll move on to staff reports. CRA Director, Ms. Courtney.
I've still got a couple of ongoing applications on the Watkins properties. They're almost finished up with the Hunting Wood and the old real estate office on Marine Street, and they're just getting started on the other one. And I've given them an extension on that because they're running a little behind. The Marine Street stormwater retrofit project is complete. The fencing around Fathom's dumpster is complete. Howard Street, we do got a bid in, or a quote in from North Florida Asphalt, but we're also waiting on a survey from Roddenberry to show us where Howard Street actually is. And I think the quote that came in was around $12,000. And that's, I don't think that has any drainage or anything in it, and we might need to put in some drainage there. And then we need to schedule a budget workshop.
And I had talked about with Keisha the budget workshop for the 2016-17 to have it on August the 16th with our next CRA meeting. But I don't know if you all would like to try to. Is that okay? And would you like to try to do that before or after the meeting? If that's okay. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Oh, okay.
I just agree with me.
All right. So it would be a separate workshop meeting, budget workshop, and then the regular meeting. But I don't know if y'all want to do that before. What do you think it would take? About an hour, hour and a half?
Yeah, an hour and a half probably.
Mr. Powers, so they're all looking at their calendars, I guess.
As of right now, the 16th is fine with me. For a budget workshop, I hope to be here, but I mean, a quorum is not required, is that correct? Okay.
And that would be on the day of our regular CRA meeting.
Which does require a quorum.
I think it would probably be better to have it after, because during the meeting, we would still discuss our project list for the next, so that would give us another opportunity to discuss the projects, proposed projects, the next year.
So you want to say 3:30?
Go with that.
So about 3:30, we'll tentatively schedule it for 3:30 on August the 16th. Do we need a motion for that? Mr. Hartman, do we need a motion to schedule our budget workshop?
Yes, a motion can't hurt, and then it just, which you've already done, announcing it to the public. But that budget workshop's gonna happen.
Someone like to motion for the CRA budget workshop August 16th at 3:30.
It won't be tentatively then, it'll be for sure.
Everybody good with that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. A second, do we have a second? Okay. And any more discussion? Discussion, okay. Yeah, all in favor? Okay, any opposed? All right, and that motion carries.
I want to point out, it's not in the CRA, but they are up there today paving the rest of the street that goes around. You know, we paved up the hill, and now the county's paving back down the hill.
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you for reporting that. That, y'all, do you know,
No.
that's Cheryl Sanders' district. She's paving that Northwest 3rd Street that's coming down behind the southeast 3rd Street, where she paved up the hill, and then we paved Avenue E with the storm one. Now she's going down behind there. So all of that paving is.
Those condos.
Yes. That's
Going
very
past
nice.
condos.
Uh-huh. That's great.
It
And that,
should probably be done by the end of the day, because I was around there this morning and they were really making good progress.
oh, that's wonderful.
I'm gonna ask who did that.
We'll move forward then, the staff report, CRA, the city attorney.
Yes, and as discussed at the city meeting, still a little bit frustrating, but trying to resolve the last cloud, which I'm assured by all the different parties they can, waiting on paperwork from one of them to get the last issue resolved on the Bellender property so that we can move ahead and get it closed. But there's, other than delay, other than that sort of thing, there's no, everybody's saying all the right things, so I think we're ready to be, it's just dragging.
All right. Thank you for that, of course.
Sure, it's fine, we'll get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any public comment? All right, no public comment. And then new business, we have no new business today. Old business, to report on the specifications and repair cost of water fountain at Veterans Park, discussion and possible action. And this was tabled from last month's meeting, hoping that the folks that brought this forward would, Mr. and Mrs. Cowan, that they wanted to have their man experienced in fountains repair it or possibly help out, and then they wanted to maintain the cost. It's unfortunate we've received an email from them. I'll find that email or send it to me, and then she forwarded it to me. It says, due to from Paul and Linda Cowan, due to circumstances too complicated to discuss presently, Paul and I will be unable to wholly or partially fund the fountain's refurbishment. We will contact you when the situation changes. So thank you for your consideration. So we opened this issue back up at their request, and now we're here. So does anyone have any suggestions?
Does anyone have any fountain experience?
I thought we talked about going with
I
a
have one,
self-contained one.
and I have one picked out. I was hoping their fountain guy would give me some input on whether it was the right fountain.
And he was going to do the work. He was going to volunteer to do the work if it wasn't too much. And then they were volunteering to pay the maintenance cost every month. Now they have backed out on everything.
It shouldn't take that much to maintain that. Little electricity, a little bit of water. It's self-contained. And, did you get a quote on one?
Right. Tell me what that quote was. I didn't write it down last time.
$1,200. I don't have it with me.
Oh, okay. All right, I've got a picture of it. But who will do the work? Because now I know that last summer, we went back and forth on this several months. Keisha was trying to find someone to repair the water fountain last summer, and she was having a difficult time locating someone that could come and do the work on this. not necessarily put a pedestal on top, but just to do any kind of work on it.
Basically, we don't need an electrician to wire it where it's under a ground fault and septic, so nobody's gonna get that. And the little water, which is already, it's self-contained, you pour it in.
And then, take down the chimney somewhat.
I'd say take the middle out and leave and sit this down in.
Take the whole middle out, take the whole chimney
Yeah,
out?
the high rise.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh,
And substitute it with this fountain.
uh-huh.
That's my suggestion. Keep it spending a lot of money.
Yeah. Who do we get to do this work?
I don't see no problem with Road and Street installing that. They need any help, I have. I mean, it's simple. Put it together, look it up.
I'll order
You want me to hook it up for you?
If you want to.
I'll
but-
do it.
My goodness, okay, that's a good thing. Somebody's got to take those bricks out of there.
Well, now William could get inmates to do that. He has inmate labor to do that. That'd be the hardest part.
And that would have to be coordinated.
Yeah, you have to get it approved to the board and inmates to do the work.
I had suggested earlier to hold this project off until the next budget
That's
season.
fine.
And we'll budget for it, and then that would be in the cooler months when the inmates aren't so busy mowing.
That's fine.
Okay, all right, what do y'all
That's
think?
my suggestion.
Okay, all right. And we'll put you in charge of the project?
I can handle it now.
Oh.
I can handle this.
This is good. Okay,
I used to work with a lot of inmates.
all right. So, would you like to motion then to move forward to remove the, I call it the chimney, but the tower?
Now, that's if these guys, and you agree with me,
We're-
that's just my opinion.
If you motion for it, we'll discuss it, or do y'all want to have some more discussion?
I'm in agreement with you doing the work. Sounds great to me. I don't know, I'm trying to visualize the middle. I know there's the stack that comes up.
Got a picture of it.
I don't know if I brought it with me.
I'm taking the whole thing out, would you still leave a little base under it in there? I think that'd be fine.
I didn't bring a picture of it with me. And I usually have that.
I think the
It's
purpose,
like a chimney, a square
Right.
part that comes up in the middle.
I can picture that, I just looking inside the tub or whatever you want to call it.
it's got a good sized base inside, and I think that was supposed to be left to place the
So
island
that
on
would
top
still
of.
most likely stay. That sounds good, I'm sure your best judgment would be fine.
I would trust his judgment.
And
I'll
I
make
do
the
too.
motion.
Okay. All right, who's motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, who motioned?
He did.
I made the
Okay, so
motion.
we have a motion by Mr. Powell and a second by Commissioner Allen to move forward on this project and to put Commissioner Walden.
Are we starting now, or are we waiting till after the
Just
budget?
gonna put it next
Yeah,
to the budget.
yes,
Okay.
yes, all right. So what we want to do is put this project in next year, in the 2016-17 budget and project list. Okay. And that's a motion by Mr. Powell and a second by Commissioner Allen. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And then the motion carries. Item 2, the CRA program, extension of the CRA program up to an additional 30 years, expansion of the CRA District boundaries, discussion and possible action. And then I just had Courtney print this handout here that I copied off of some of the statute 163 and information that was given to us in one of our redevelopment courses that we took. And this is just not for you to study and know by heart, by no means, but this is examples of what's going to be needed if we extend the boundaries and expand the time limit, or expand the time limit, whatever. Either or, if we do both, these things will be necessary. So Mr. Hartman probably might agree that it won't happen this month or overnight, or probably not by the time we need to amend the plan to include the contract for services and the nonprofit events grant program. Do you have any comments, sir?
No, I know that we talked about this at the last meeting. The idea being, the one that's probably the biggest amount of work and call it strategy, is expansion of the district boundaries for all the purposes and reasons that we talked about before, whether it be infrastructure, obviously blight, and kind of, again, the CRA thing to me is strategic from the standpoint, you know, again, areas that need what the CRA has to offer, and then at the same time locking in a base tax year of 2016 as our base year. Where would we want to do that in the city? Again, generate, to me, sufficient income to make the improvements that you want to make over time in the areas that you're expanding to, and really augment the area that we already have.
So over time, it needs to make revenues. You need to know that you're going to make revenue, tax income.
Well, and this is the thing. You've got two theories of, just to be fair and everything, is it does not. I mean, that is not a requirement for certain under statute. It's not. My view only, this is just my recommendation, but people have a totally different view as well that I've talked with on this. They say, hey, the base year applies to the city as well as the county. So when we lock that in, the ad valorem tax revenue over that base year, the increment does not come into the city's general fund, and that makes the budgeting at the city level could make it more difficult in the future. Contract for services and some of those other things are ways to work around the edges on that to make it less impact. Again, I say my opinion, this is all it is my opinion is that what we're really getting, I mean, I always look at these as almost like a 401k plan. It's like, how much, what is the match? What is the, I don't want to call it free money, but what is the additional money that we'll be getting that would otherwise be leaving the city? And that's the county increment. The county increment is what we're going to keep in the city, as opposed to it going to the general fund of the county and being spent however the county sees fit. And again, historically, it's my understanding that we don't benefit dollar for dollar. We send a dollar to the county, we get something back, but it's not $1.50 or even $1. So, and again, people who have lived here longer and seen it, been involved in government longer than I have, that's what I hear from them. But you know, crunching the numbers, that's the big advantage on the CRA. That's why cities do them. You know, the counties can do them too, but cities are the ones they push them, because you're keeping your taxpayers, your property owners' revenue that would otherwise go to the county, you keep it in the city for the city.
In the CRA redevelopment fund. So right now the county's millage rate is about 6.25 somewhere. So that millage rate on the increment value from the base rate stays with the CRA. It stays in the it doesn't go to the city's general fund, but it goes to the CRA fund. And then the tax income from the city as well on those properties goes to the redevelopment fund. So that's where it hurts on the city side a little bit, because that revenue is not going to the general fund, it's going to the CRA fund. And that money has to be reinvested into the CRA district. So
and that's why the mayor's exactly right, and then that's why we're talking about the contract for services, which is city employees spending time working on CRA projects, and then the CRA will defray some of that cost if they're really working on CRA thing. The other big one, the one that I've seen lot of is the infrastructure. You know, we're doing a stormwater project about the boat ramp. Obviously, you know, it's on the agenda. ECT's been working on it for a while. That, you know, if the CRA wasn't paying for that, that would be city expense, period. So, and we get to, in essence, to make it simple, is we're taking money that otherwise would have gone to the county, and using it on that project. On what we decide, you know, is important. As the 5 members of the city commission that sit on the CRA board, they are separate agencies, but there is, you know, common sense standpoint overlap.
If we extend it, do we get a new base year?
We do not, we would.
Go back to 92?
In the existing district, we continue on with the 92 base years, we're just extending the life of the CRA. And then in the areas that we're expanding into, those will have a new base year. So the calculation will get a little more complicated.
Yeah, the same group. Okay.
Could we have a map of the city to look at? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I meant to about that.
I know what I thought about it too, but I forgot. So,
Is there other than an economic possibility that housing or the prices, assessments and whatever property values are going to be going up over the next few years, which we hope, is there any other urgency to expand the area? I mean, is there
That is the urgency. Whether it's urgent or not, you know, I mean, it's hard to predict, but after a long downward trend, they are going up again. So, but nothing like it was, I don't think.
and so that would be what Mr. Hartman is saying. The only urgency is that you don't, well, first of all, this particular CRA that we're in right now, our period that we're in sunsets in 2022. So if you wait till it sunsets, then you have to start over again. Then you don't want to, if you really think you want to extend the boundaries, you don't want to wait till the project, till the property values go up high. That's what's happened in Apalachicola. They didn't start their CRA until 2006, whenever the property values were sky high, and they're what?
That's the worst.
Yeah. So that, you know, it may be another, 20 years, who knows, before they'll ever collect any increment revenues, because their property values now are much lower than they were in 2006. And you collect your increment revenue only on a value that's higher than your base revenue.
And I understand, I don't think you're going to be able to answer this question. I understand that the rationale about the count money, but I don't know, we don't know what money we're taking away from the city. I don't know what's called general fund. Is that correct? I mean, because we don't allow the property values are going to go up. Is that right?
That's correct.
And so I guess my position at this point in time is I'm all for extending the time period of the current CRA district, but as of right now, I'm not for expanding it. And I think that we're taking away money from that could be benefiting our citizens in a different manner, in a manner that they may more appreciate than doing facade grants and things like that. Let me explain. I think by doing facade grants and whatever is a good thing. We're bringing in people. We're bringing in, I feel, investors that are coming in and buying property and then using the facade grants, and then they're going to turn around and sell that. I don't see that what the buildings that they're going to sell are going to be buildings that are going to benefit the citizens of Carrabelle. I mean, if it was a building big enough that was going to bring in a competing grocery store, I think that'd be fantastic. But I see gift boutique shops and things like that are down that now are in Apalachicola, and I don't see them employing many of the local people. I don't see the money that they're making selling whatever the novelties are, their souvenirs, as staying in the city of Carrabelle. somebody, you know, I don't know if that's popular with the rest of everybody or not, but that's, I guess, the way I'm looking at it right now. I mean, I think what we've currently done has been very beneficial, but I don't know if it's been totally beneficial for the citizens of Carrabelle.
Or as a whole?
As a whole.
Yes, sir, I understand.
So, you know, we're taking money away from the general fund that might be able to be spent for things, you know, not cleaning up the light, not cleaning up what the CRA mission is, but providing more benefits that are improvements for the quality of life for the citizens.
In the general fund.
Providing more services to the entire city as a whole. Yes, I do, and that is worrisome to me as a commissioner.
And so I'm for extending the time period. I think that's a good thing. We already have one. We're doing, but I don't know if if we really had enough time to see whether what the current CRA district is doing is benefiting the citizens and making the quality of life better for the citizens they care about.
Because we really just started, I don't know how now, and I agree, in 1992, I don't know how active the CRA was. There wasn't a lot of money because it was new, there wasn't a lot of income.
Right.
And just being, very recently, being in compliance now and you know, reinvesting as required by Florida statute, like you say, we haven't had long enough at it to see how it benefits the entire city. And it is supposed to bring up property values, that's the intention of the concept. And then once all of the property values are brought up in the district, then it's supposed to expand in the surrounding areas.
But if we don't have jobs here for the citizens, they're not going to be able to afford to pay the increased property values and taxes on them. I mean, I'd much rather see spending time trying to attract businesses big enough to employ larger amounts of people than possibly a souvenir shop, something like that.
And you mentioned they get their facade grant and then the building is for sale. And that was worrisome to me in the beginning when we did facade grants. And I actually had all of the other facade grants that I looked at throughout the state had a 5-year lien on the program, and we decided not to have a lien, not even a 3-year lien, if the property wouldn't be sold or that they would pay back a certain percentage if they, but, you know, I just see it.
And I'm still for that what we do today, because I think we're improving the downtown area, making it look better. It's making people drive through the 98. I mean, it's the first thing people see coming from Tallahassee when they come into Franklin County, other than Lanner. They see Carrabelle. And, you know, most of them, unfortunately, keep on going. You go to St. George Island or go to Apalachicola or go on to the next county. So I think that helps. But you know, as far as the stormwater that Dan mentioned, I think that was a great thing that we did. But we have a lot of, that's benefiting the people that are coming in with their fishing boats, and I'm not so sure they're really leaving a lot of money in Carrabelle.
And I guess, I mean, that's what's fascinating about the, you know, the discussion is, you know, to your points of view, and then I completely understand what you're saying, Rob. And if you said to me, Dan, there's a garbage problem. For instance, we always talk about mandatory garbage pickup, things like this. Now, we don't talk about mandatory garbage pickup, but bare-proof cans or increasing the ability to pick up garbage, stormwater in other areas of the city, not just where the current CRA district is. You know, having, you know, that is the point of the expansion. I mean, I'm sort of, I understand what you're saying, but again, the thing that is always interesting, it's always a line that you're walking, is where the city and CRA overlap. And they basically overlap everywhere, meaning public services, whether policing or stormwater, water, sewer, everything. You just have to have enough funding, and you have to be creative in it, and you can't spend it outside the district. So, you know, that's where I am, you know, I'm always fascinated about the old cases that they had when the CRAs were first coming out, and cities said, oh, the whole city's a CRA, like that. And counties lost their minds, they got all upset and said, you can't do that, you can't do that, because it's too good. you know, the city is so beneficial to cities to designate the entire geographic, you know, the whole municipal boundaries, everything inside of the CRA, and the county didn't like that because their source of revenue was cut off. But that's, you know, I keep thinking, well, if that's what the county don't want, and that's what cities do want, why? You know, as far as, to me, you want to push your boundaries for the benefit of the citizens, obviously, for the most part, located within those boundaries, as much as possible. I mean, especially when the tax base is low. Because once it goes up, I did not know that Apalachicola set theirs at 06. There's CRAs in the state that run negative, and they don't. I mean, they have expenses that they don't have revenue to cover, period. And, you know, if everything, you know, just talking to Courtney, she's shaking her head, is I think for real estate, you know, again, who knows, gosh, I tried to guess it before, but it's coming back. I mean, it's coming back strong compared to what it was 2 years ago when we buy things again. So that's the consideration, is I think absolutely there's two schools of thought, and then, but there's only one moment, there'll be another one 20, 30 years from now, moments in time when you really want to expand your area because of the tax base. I mean, that, to me, that part drives it. If someone came to me, I talked to Mariana, I talked to some other folks about these in 10, maybe 9 and 10, that everybody said, oh no, it's still dropping. You know, the tax base is still going down. We don't want to expand now. We could end up negative. You know, values now are higher than they will be 2 years from now, talking to the property appraiser. But property appraiser now, I believe, last time I talked to her, but she's saying, hey, they expect it to go up 6%. You saw the budget numbers in the paper that things are going up again. So totally valid decision to say, nope, we're not expanding. But I would say, and you want to hold off until we have another downturn. You know, if you don't lock in the next year or two, then probably wait another 15 years. You know, don't fall into the Apalachicola trap.
And that would be correct. We need to lock in shortly if it's going to be done.
And I guess I'm not saying I'm basing my position
Yeah, I totally get it.
on
Yeah. Tax
property values. I'm basing it on projects that are going to benefit the people. Now, you know,
Yeah.
if we could make all the Carrabelle and use the money to have mandatory trash pickup, I'd say, yeah, let's do it.
But that's what I'm saying, right, is you stare at that and you say, as long as it's contiguous, it's gotta have, you know, could look like a snake, but it's gotta be contiguous. And you say, hey, well, what projects, you know, you heard from the citizens that they say, hey, we'd love to have these roads paved, I'd love to be able to get sanitary sewer service to a certain area of the city, or, you know, flooding over here, or whatever. That now or in the next year or two is the time to include them in the CRA, so we can spend money in that area for the benefit of as many citizens as possible. And of course, the theory behind the CRA a little bit is the downtown. I mean, you're hoping everybody's going to come to downtown and enjoy themselves, even if, you know, but we kind of, I won't say got that covered, but it is covered. It's in the existing CRA. But it's, you start running up 98, where you start to have, I guess, really nice car, a mini mall. Some of those areas are not in the CRA. You know, infill and some of that. Do you want to encourage it? Do you want more of a commercial, you know, entrance to the city there on that road, because it is zoned commercial out there, but it's empty. You know, but as it gets improved, we would wish we'd locked it in. You know, what I mean, because then the values would go up as soon as Brenda's moves back up and that sort of stuff.
I understand Rob's point, and I agree with it to some extent. We do have the section on 98, as you just mentioned, that a lot of commercial businesses and buildings need to be upgraded. But just like before, it's going to take several years before there'll be enough income off of the new rate, you know, to really plow into it.
Absolutely.
And that all depends on what happens to the.
Oh yeah, and we
You
know
know,
that.
it's like investing in the stock market. You know.
Yeah.
Buy it when it's higher, sell it when it's low.
But now, once it's an entire CRA district, the expanded area, the money that's in the redevelopment fund can be used in the entire district. doesn't have to be,
In that area.
of course, in that blighted area is not contributing at that point.
It'd just be still one CRA fund.
Yes, sir. And I wanted to address Mr. Powers again, back on the facade grant. That is not an engraved in stone plan. That can always be amended on the amount. Our facade grant here is very liberal, and I think maybe we did it that way in the beginning to encourage it. Bo and I walked the streets for the first year trying, knocking doors, trying to get someone to do a facade grant. They all thought we were crazy and it was a con artist job or something, but now, and so we made it that liberal, but most of in the other areas, they'll do a 50% match, not an 80%, and they've got, $5,000 maximum, not, $16,000. So, that can be changed if it seems we need funding on another project.
And I'm all for it, don't misunderstand me, I'm for the facade grants, and I'm for it way. I'm just saying that I think that so far the buildings I'm seeing being improved upon are not really providing any additional benefit in the way of employment or money staying in Carrabelle that helps the people of Carrabelle. I mean, if we could do trash pickup, if we could have a complete grocery store, if we could have even a larger restaurant or hotel or something that employs more than, a handful of people, I think that would be good. I mean, that would improve the quality of life for people in Carrabelle.
Now, could the CRA pay for household garbage pickup in the CRA district?
I would think that the CRA, this is just me talking on top of my head, what I was thinking about was, I mentioned that the CRA could set up pickup points in the CRA district where people could, of course, we're gonna have people
Yeah.
bringing things from outside the district.
Even out of the county?
We'd have to think about it, but to me, what would be, it's gotta be doable if you have collection points in CRA, the CRA pays to have collected and all.
Know how you can keep others out of it. And
You
then,
know,
as
be
well,
possible.
would you segregate household from commercial, or would you be picking up everything? And then, and really, how do you keep others, even friends, to say, my friend wants to bring their garbage over to my place, I live in the CRA district, and so just come on, bring your garbage over.
Yeah, no, I don't know that we could literally pay for household garbage pickup, in CRA. Again, I was thinking more collection points, recycling, that sort of stuff, but I agree, if you're gonna be able to all over the city, bring it in, drop it at those collection points, which again would benefit the entire city, but that's not proper. Or maybe it is, I honestly have not researched that. When I think about that, I think of absolutely during events and everything else, temporarily, CRA do it all the time. I don't see why, when it's directly related to blight and condition of properties, this garbage problem, and why you couldn't necessarily weigh in on that.
Bo May sent in a comment, and he wants to extend the district for another full term, so that's 30 years. It was established in 1992. Sometimes if it was established after 2006, you can only extend the amount of time, a certain time. And then he wants to include the area along 98 East to 12th Street. That would be where old Brenda's Restaurant. And he doesn't say whether he wants to go north and south on 98, one block or how many blocks. And then he also wants to go north on 67, including the residential area east of the highway until about Avenue I. But now on 67, that's a residential commercial zoning on one block east and west on both sides.
Half a block
East and west. See that? Can you see that gold area going?
yellow.
So I think personally, my opinion is that that's a little bit much, for extension. That would be a big area. I would not suggest to do both locations. It's one or the other. East on 98 to 12th Street or 67, but that's just my
That's what
opinion.
I'm saying, I can understand 98, but I'm not real keen on the other right now.
And then, Keisha, where is there not sewer up on, you go up 67, so now we're talking about infrastructure.
Avenue K on the east side. It stops on First Street on Avenue K. So none of these places in here have sewer.
There's not any sewer where Miss Brenda's is on the south, down there towards the water.
Or the street behind them, they're not on the sewer either. Right, they, know all that, and a lot of, even this behind the park, this is the park. The ones that aren't connected, that's all, airback in there, so we're kind of limited on what we can do. We can
Nothing
change
at
it.
Baywood.
Nothing up here in Baywood, which, this is Baywood over here, but it should sit up
And
here.
I will tell you, Baywood Estates needs a road. Are y'all, I know you know Baywood Estates. What would it, to pave that road would probably be around $800,000 to pave that road.
Based on what we've paid,
Yeah, from our experience now, 7 to 8, somewhere around in there. And they don't have water or sewer. Or cable, but we can't get them cable. And, so that would be going way up to 67, you know what that is. So, say for instance, where, Mr. and Mrs. Milton Cox live, they don't have sewer there?
yes, they,
They do, okay.
Well, what about the area around that public housing that's up 7th, going up 90, going east on 98, the public housing area that's on like 7th Street and in there, I don't think there's sewer.
there's sewer right there on 7th Street, but there's not sewer back down to the
Yeah.
east.
Because I know that where the Watlings used to live on the street right behind
there's
Miss
not sewer
Brenda's,
back
there's
there.
no sewer there.
They're going to the east, behind Miss Brenda's, and if you went back 1 or 2 blocks to the south, you could take in that area there adjacent to Sands Park, but to the east.
Right.
And put sidewalks and help bring up that area. That's
That's a real blight.
low-income housing area. Now, they did just get Avenue C paved, District 2, I believe that is, Cheryl Sanders paved Avenue C, but they could handle some sidewalks that might carry them to Sands Park, clean up, litter pickup, just something to help bring up that area. And we know the mini mall and, the mini mall's rehabbed itself now. But all of that, right there on the corner of 5th Street and that building that has that big boat, this is my opinion, that boat needs to go. It's been there since I've lived here full-time, since 2008, right there. I don't know whose boat it is, at the corner of Highway 98 and 5th Street.
It's the guy that owns that building,
It's that big boat that's there,
God.
that's across from Sands Park. And then all of that whole block right in there is run down. And all of the landscaping that we have put in with a JPA DOT grant down to Miss Brenda's is not being maintained, and that is where Mr. Powers talks about we don't have enough money in the general fund to possibly hire another streets and roads to help maintain what we have, like a new restroom in the lighthouse. So, But we can certainly table this, discuss it some more next month when Mr. Bo May is back with us, and we can maybe need to plan a workshop after we get our budgets done.
Is it worthwhile taking this in two pieces and then you could take an action on extending the time period for the current? And then if that's agreed upon, then that's off the table, that's done, and then we can discuss the expansion piece separately.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, certainly.
But now, we wouldn't want to handle it we would want to handle it all
What
together.
we'll try to do is handle it all together, so just for administrative cost and efficiency, whatever. But the more things we can take off the table,
Right.
probably is better, so they don't keep coming up and taking time. And then also at a certain point, if you all say, you know what, we're not going to get there on this, but we need to move ahead with these things, at least we'll have those things agreed on and ready to move ahead. And if you approve, because I can start preparing the paperwork for it, just insert what we agreed on. So, I mean, I see the logic of what you're suggesting. We don't have to keep it, we'll keep it together, but again, if, again, months and months are going by, and we still be wanting to get moving, then you can always move on. Certain items and leave others for further discussion.
Do we want to first then maybe motion to address these two issues separately?
No, I think they are such separate
Okay.
issues that I think you could vote on either. It would just simply be to vote to table the discussion on district boundaries, and then up or down vote on.
If I understand what you said, they should be done together.
What we'll do is, we're saying, Rob's suggestion is, hey, can we vote, or what I'm hearing Rob say is he'd like to at least get this issue of extension of the CRA resolved, basically, whether it's approved or not, to extend I think what Rob and Bo mentioned in his letter is that say, hey, extend it for the statutory 30 years, extend the authority of the CRA's agency for another 30 years. You all can certainly vote on that. If you vote on that, then at least then that piece of it's done, and we would table the expansion, exactly whether or not to do it at all, and if we do it, what are we going to include in the expansion?
So we could go ahead and vote to extend today.
You could.
I'll move that we do that then.
But how long would you like to extend?
What's it, 30 years?
Can it extend it any amount of time?
Any amount of time up to 30 years.
Up to 30.
Is that what you say, motion to extend up to 30 years? That's a big motion. Okay, so we have.
It can be amended once we get it on the table.
Yes, sir. We have a motion by Commissioner Allen to extend the CRA program an additional 30 years beyond 2022. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so that's a motion by Commissioner Allen and a second by Rob Powers. Is there any more discussion? Is there any discussion? Okay then, all right. So.
I probably won't be around to see that.
Doggone it.
Yeah.
I won't be here to see that. Will anybody be here?
I think all of it's gonna be somewhere else.
Better or worse.
All right, now, but it can be amended at any time. Now, I have a question during discussion. In the future, if the folks in the future decide that they don't want to do this, can they, how is it
I believe you
resolved?
can dissolve the CRA. I can get you some more
I
detail on that.
think so too. I don't think it's as difficult as dissolving an important airport authority. I don't think it requires a House bill.
No, I think it's I think it's definitely can be, I think, handled under home rule, the city itself and the CRA.
With an ordinance.
Yep.
Okay. All right, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, then the motion carries. Okay, so then we'll have a second motion that I'm going to call for regarding expansion of the CRA district boundaries. And we have discussed here tabling that discussion and possibly having a workshop, maybe a short discussion at our next meeting, and then possibly scheduling a workshop.
No one speaking up, I'll go ahead and motion to put it on, postpone it and have a workshop to discuss the expansion issues.
Okay, so just table this to the discussion to a workshop.
Yes.
Scheduled sometime in the future. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Allen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Commissioner Walden. Any more discussion? And that is to table the discussion on expansion of the CRA district boundaries to a workshop to be scheduled in the future. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, then the motion carries. All right, thank y'all. So then we'll move on forward to the Novia Consulting Group. Progress on the FDOT permitting for the crosswalk design at Highway 98 4th Street.
Good afternoon. Good news on the 4th Street crosswalk. I have gotten 3 confirmations from 3 different people that the plans are approved. When we get the actual permit is going to be, we'll have to do their whatever they do to cross their T's, dot their I's. But I've gotten a guarantee that it's approved. So that is good news.
And that's been 2 years. I took it to the traffic safety team for their permit managers 2 years ago this summer. And then y'all started working on it in October or November of 14. So 2 years.
So it's been quite a travel.
So I was going to ask you what would be the steps going forward. Do you think that this project will begin before October the 1st? Would it go into our next budget year?
It would October the 1st. Do you have to have it close out before October, or?
No, some of our projects carry over. We do
Okay.
have some funding allocated.
Okay, I would imagine that we could probably bid in late August. So we have the month of August for advertisements, and then it's close.
It's hard to say.
It's close. It's hard to say.
We would, want to allocate if we needed to allocate. And so you have presented we've seen the final plan.
Correct.
Copy of the final plans. And then, do you have a cost estimate on that?
I think I have one, but it needs to be revised because it reflects our old plan.
Okay.
So this one we extended the island out a little bit, so we got to add some more costs into there, but I can get that prepared and ready for the next meeting. And then once I have the permit in hand, I can have a better timeline as far as advertising and bidding deadlines.
Could you, because we have that budget workshop, could you get that cost estimate like a week, at least?
So like a week prior?
Prior and send it to Brittany?
Of course.
So we can have it to look at?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay, does anyone have any more questions for Ms. Molly on the crosswalk? All right, that's good news. It's a shame Bo wasn't here to hear that, because he actually went to the traffic safety team himself one time on that same issue. All right, then, item 2, your progress of your CDBG application in a commercial revitalization category for the Northwest Avenue B project.
Yes, we have a DEO issued a letter. I think it was received either Friday or Monday with a few revisions that they're requesting. I've been had discussions with Fred Fox. We need to tweak some minor things on the application, and I should be getting that to him by Friday at the latest.
So there's nothing at this point, and no changes?
No changes, it was just a minor change to the application.
And we're working on the city side, all of the legal things that
policy.
we need to do, resolutions and amendments to the comp plan. And we'll be doing 3 more resolutions at our next commission meeting with regard to this, so. All right, so I guess that's it, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Letting us know about the crosswalk. Okay, then we have environmental consulting technology. The Marine Street Stormwater Project, retrofit project is complete, and you can give us a report on that. Yes, ma'am.
I brought some pretty pictures for you all. I know you all have seen them, but I did a couple before and after photos, kind of like to try to get the same angle, just to kind of get a little bit of, you know, kind of what was like before and what is now. Sorry, the pictures were a little smaller than I had thought they were gonna come out. But everything is finished. The paving and striping got done. And North Florida Asphalt has sent us an invoice. We're reviewing their invoice right now. There's a couple little things they need to change, because there was a couple things on their invoice that technically was not for this project like that. They included the millings for that, was it Northeast 7?
Oh, they did?
And on this invoice, I just want them to take that off of there,
Yeah.
because we don't want them to include any of that.
They've
And-
already been paid, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
from the log account.
And they also, they've also invoiced for the retainage, which we did not tap into the retainage. So I have getting clarification from them on that as well, because I would like to have them take that off the bill. And I do have a revised sheet showing our estimate and then their final. And then I kind of have 2 different sheets. One is one we're going to submit to water management. And the top one is the one just for the CRA, because that has all of CRA's costs on there as well. And then we actually do have a little bit of a surplus in the grant. So I did add in the couple of sharrows that were put in down by the bioretention pond. I included the stop bar also, and then the additional no parking striping in front of Wicked Willie's. We're gonna add that to the grant as well.
Okay, thank you.
Because we do have about, there's still $6,900 worth of money left in the grant. But looking at everything else, pretty much everything was outside of our construction limits. So, you know, we'll give back a little bit of money.
Okay. And so then what was the CRA surplus, was that 25?
No, that's all the grant surplus.
Okay, all the grant
Yep.
surplus.
And then the column on the right is the very far right is not, what's not covered under the grant is to be paid by the CRA, which is the rest of the milling for Marine Street up to Highway 98, the remainder of Avenue E. And then we do have the additional striping minus what we took out for there. And then like the alleyway for Gander's Hardware, which I wasn't sure if we were counting that all under Marine Street, but I do have it in this
That's
budget.
Is that okay with y'all? Make it simpler, okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure, so I put it in there, that way.
And we do have the millings from Marine Street there, so.
Right. And then the drain design, and then we did have the drain with the construction for them to do that, remove that asphalt and then recreate that area for the drain. So that was gonna be, so that's 96.7 for this, the CRA portion.
Okay.
And then the numbers I have at the bottom in that pink is numbers we are gonna give, showing the, water management. That was gonna be part of the in-kind services. I think we might be able to even add a little bit more to that possibly, since there was sometimes 3 people for the water department on site, so.
And count me too?
Oh, yes, you're in there. You're definitely in there.
Even though I make 10 cents an hour.
We charge you by the day.
Okay.
And so, but I think we can maybe even add in a little bit more, because I think we can even get, for Keisha being, you know, in these meetings too, so I think we can probably still bump that up, you know, a little bit more too. The more we can put in there,
Oh,
the
I
better.
see, you have me make $20.
That's right. I broke it down by the day.
Okay.
I figured that was gonna be easier than trying to show the, So, and then, and if there's anybody else we think that we might be able to put at least on for our limits of the project for water management, anything that was outside, of course, so we can't really do anything with that one, so anywhere we think we can put people in there. Like I say, that the sheet on the back is the one that I just took out everything that was not in the project, like the asphalt, just to show that they didn't even see like the alleyway behind Gander's and then the pharmacy. I took that stuff out on the next page.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Because that's what
That's what you're submitting this page to the
Correct.
Water Management District?
Right.
Okay, all right, that's good.
that way she can see, like I say, and they can see more breakdown and everything too, which is pretty much what the invoice is going to look like, but they'll see more of the breakdown on your side as well.
All right, you all, it looks like there would be still funding and remaining in this project, this line item to pay for Howard Street, which you said is $12,000 and something. And then Rod Berry's gonna have to do a survey, which, so, 13, 14,000, somewhere in there, unless it's gonna have drainage.
I think the concern is because of you're kind of coming down off of Avenue E and it kind of comes up to where that little house is. And then it drops back down to Avenue F around there. So I think the concern is you're gonna have to do something with that stormwater in that middle section. So that's why we asked for the survey to get a survey, and it's real narrow in through there. And I don't know, somebody has put some brick across the road there, so I don't know, maybe it's gonna help divert some of it.
I don't know what that was for, if that was to try to slow down traffic or to divert stormwater.
Right.
And there looks like there's a tree in the middle of the road or something.
Right, exactly, so that's why, because we weren't really sure. I think right now Northport Asphalt based it on a 12 to 18 foot wide road, which I don't know if that's really what it is right there or not. It's hard to tell based on like the trees, so once we can see that, because we don't want to put stormwater on somebody's property, and that will cause issues too.
We don't want to put a road on somebody's property.
Right, exactly, exactly.
So,
Right.
okay.
And there definitely is some wash off on that southern end of the road, so, putting something there will help out with that. Whether we can tie into some structure or we can do a little something maybe in the middle.
So that will work out real nice with the new paving that's going in that area today. Now, what about any legal issues in that area, Mr. Hartman? Are you familiar with Howard Street? It's,
That should be done now.
I got some pictures.
Yeah, hit me with
I think
one, so
I'm-
I'll know what I'm looking at.
okay, it's behind Wicked Willie's, where the condominiums are.
Yes, those
there.
condominiums that come right after you come off the curve.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
looking
Gotcha,
at.
okay. Yep.
So that's kind of down there. It's somewhat of a hill, not much.
But then this is about the middle of the road. This is where that little house sits, just past those. It really looks narrow in there, and then, so there is some.
Survey's gonna tell us where our right of way is
Mhm.
there.
But I'm more worried about any legal issues on the south side of Gulf Avenue there, off that Howard Street.
That's south of where we're currently having, when I say south, that's
West.
whatever direction, but
Uh-huh.
southwest.
Uh-huh.
That's a good bit southwest of where
Okay.
we're having trouble. But again, as it drops down, there's gonna be some more control stuff to get it redirected and tied into the existing project you just finished.
That's what we could look to see if we need to do something there. I think there is a little bit of a swale on the south side of the road, but. that's
Yeah, we just
something
want to
to-
keep, just everybody knows,
Right, don't wanna put
just
any-
want to keep a close eye on dumping a bunch
I
of
don't
water
want to shed water.
Right.
on the south side of that road.
All right, then, and so we could just go ahead forward and talk about, well, can we just move forward to item 3, since we're kind of talking about this area, do y'all mind? And then we'll go back to 2 and let her talk about the land and water conservation grant. Can we move forward and talk about the Marine Street Triangle parking layout? Do y'all mind if we do that, since we're in that area, we're looking at, and talking about stormwater? So, it looks like we're gonna be moving forward on this sooner than later, on the Marine Street Triangle construction of a parking lot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Sooner than, we thought it was gonna be sooner, but it's gonna be a little bit later.
We can be moving ahead with it as far as when I say we, the demolition is obtaining money to complete the demolition of that site. Goal is still to be closed on it, being purchased by the end of this month. Again, if that goes on, I keep saying this, but gosh, I thought we had plenty of time to say another couple weeks. It will happen at the end of July, beginning of August, kind of thing.
And I understand that the demolition, I talked to William Massey, and he's talked to the property owner. William Massey's going to be taking the white shed that's off of that building that's right there in Marine Street. He's going to take that and use it at the Streets and Roads staging yard. He says that Mr. Millender says it will take about 10 days, weather permitting, to do the demo. And I've asked Mr. Massey to be there and oversee it as much as he can, not to allow them to mess up any of our Marine Street new construction, and to try to go and come on 5th Street for now, not to, hit any curves or tear up anything that, any of our new stuff that we put out there. So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay. Well, what I want to know is, you have presented to us a parking, some preliminary
Right.
parking layout designs. And then we talked on the phone very briefly the other day about, you think that we might possibly need a retention pond, or?
Well, and that's what we're talking, we've got a couple of calls in, we've been playing phone tag with water management, because this was the holiday week last week and vacations. So, we are talking with some people at water management to see, since the majority of that property was an impervious surface because it's buildings, what do we need to do, or, so we are trying to get, their input on what do we have to do, or maybe do we need to put some impervious parking there, or impervious parking, just to kind of work around, or can we tie into our existing project that we might be able to work, we can system we already have in. So once we get approval from them, but we could go ahead and, since that property already has been surveyed, we could do a formal site plan, more formal site plan and lay everything out. And then, because I'm guessing we'll hear something from water management today, tomorrow, by the end of the week. So we should be able to go ahead and we could draw up a, conceptual design for that.
So if you wanted to tie into the, oh.
Can you, I don't understand what you just said. I'm sorry.
We might have to,
You said a retention pond? What
right.
do you mean by that?
We might have to put in some sort of stormwater pond. If they're not gonna allow us to either use the bioretention pond or because we are redeveloping that property. But what we're trying to do is get a little bit of a variance, since currently there's nothing on that property, and the property is mostly a building or buildings, but water management, so they tell us that since we are redeveloping it, so they have to put in some sort of.
So a water retention is take care of runoff?
Yes, correct.
And so this big thing around here,
Right.
is that the same thing?
Correct. That is basically, we're called it a bioretention, but yes. But since we do have this, we might really capture that, and we do have a nice inlet over here on the north side of Marine Street. That one that there's an inlet over here, so we might be able to tie in over here to the system over here, so we're not necessarily tearing anything up.
But how do you tie in without tearing up our new construction?
What we would do is we could come off of the side and come in underneath the sidewalk, and if there is nothing on this side, we might be able to come in that way. But we'll know more once we talk to water management. They may not require us to do anything. It's just we're waiting to really get their permission. Or what we could also do is, if we have to, we do have some. I don't remember which one's the latest one. You know, we do have a couple spots, we might be able to put in some, you know, in the little islands in the corners, put in the grass area, put in small little, you know, retention ponds. You know, don't have to be one great big one, but we might be able to utilize one, or, you know.
Is there a certain percentage of land mass that has to be, oh, so there's a
Yes,
percentage?
yeah, correct. But like I say, but if we can base it on what is currently, covered surface right now, we might be able to utilize that information. Or what we could do is possibly not have a paved parking. We might be able to put some sort of, you know.
So what you're saying is this is a bigger job than just doing paving and striping?
Well,
Maybe?
maybe.
Did you use impervious asphalt?
Right, yeah, we might be able to do something, correct. Right. If they allow us, since there is, and we'll actually be giving more space over there than what they have now. So we just want to get permission, we want to get their okay from water management. Get their input. And since they helped us with the other one a lot, you know, and they didn't require anything, so we're thinking that they'll work with us on this one as well.
We're pretty much dealing with water coming off that field,
Correct,
those condos,
right.
all in there.
But the good thing is we do have the water retention pond just south of there.
But how would it tie into the bioretention pond?
It'll sheet flow.
Okay, so you would make the asphalt.
Right, and we
Flow that.
pretty much already did when we repaved this, they actually helped slope this, so it does flow.
All right, I'm just going to say one thing out of public request. I got an email today. Who doesn't get these emails? So, and I see it's right in the drive that you know your preliminary. A gentleman wants that as a old Florida grapefruit tree, and he'd like that preserved, retained there. So that's right in the bad spot.
Yes.
Well, I would show that. Did you see where it is? It's right there on Marine Street.
I thought it was an orange tree, but it's beautiful. It's got fruit on it.
I don't know. If it was in the corner somewhere, you know.
Well, if you maybe that's through a little.
Maybe we could, we got a fountain, maybe we could put a fountain.
Yeah. We don't want to, we're spending a lot of money now with the purchase of this. It's purchased, you know, over appraised value because we need the parking and it's removing blight. And then to, you know, contract your services and then to pay for the contractor. We don't want to have a lot of stormwater retention. You know, we can't afford to waste any spot, practically not even, you know, this request. And so, is there any more questions?
Can you move a tree like that? Can a tree like that be moved? That was my question.
Probably if you didn't do it while it was bearing fruit. I mean,
But probably more expensive.
I would let the person that requested it have the tree if it can't be saved. Okay. That's my suggestion. We don't have to vote on it. Item 2 then, report on your land and water conservation grant and your project improvement proposals. Discussion and possible action.
for the land and water grants, the last document was submitted the 30th, is that right? It was just a letter, like a saying you want to go forward with it, had to be on, is the letter, on city letterhead. So now they were gonna submit everything to the National Park Service. So it was recommended, but it was approved on the state level. So now it's gonna go up to the National Park Service for their review.
Okay, so it's not final approved yet.
Correct. I think
Oh.
the final approval has to go from the National Park. But it was recommended by the DEP to go forward with the project.
All right, I misunderstood then. I thought it was approved. And that's for $95,000.
Correct.
And CRA was gonna match $50,000 with that to repair the docks, pavilion and boardwalk. So how long does it take for the Park Service to report on that?
I don't know if she did, I don't think she sent her email, but I'm guessing they have to still finalize putting the package together and get things submitted. But I think the federal, I would think they were by October, it was a little ways away, but I don't know how many. I think there was only, the state of Florida had 12 submittals, does that sound right? That they actually accepted, so several were withdrawn and taken out, so depends, I guess, how many they got across the country as well.
Are there any more questions regarding this item?
It does look positive, at least it was, I got through the first review.
All right, thank you very much. And then on the CRA board projects, item 1, report from Rob House regarding the progress of the webcam project.
The webcam is installed and it's operational. I've given the receipts for the materials that I spent money on to Courtney, and came in at $504 plus some change as opposed to the $700 that we approved. There is one remaining decision to be made, and that is actually 2 decisions. Do we want to put the webcam image on the CRA website? And if the answer to that is yes, it's going to cost us $65 from 2K Web. And they're actually, that decision needs to be made fairly soon, because that's dependent on how they implement the website or the webcam on the Salty, Florida site. And so once, actually I told them I was going to call this afternoon to know whether we want it on the CRA website or not.
Are they going to, when they put it on the Salty, Florida website, would there be a way to make a hyperlink to that? Like, could I do that, or are they logging it somehow?
They're going to put a still snapshot version of it's going to be refreshed every couple minutes or so, but it'll be a snapshot of the river on the Salty, Florida. And if you want to go see a live streaming version, you click on a hyperlink, and that'll take you to the CRA website, which will be the live version. And they're also going to put a statement on there that says that the webcam on the Salty, Florida site, that the webcam's been provided, or the internet service has been provided by the courtesy of the Seaports Marina. And there'll be a hyperlink there that somebody could click on that could take them to the Seaports website. And then the third piece, just to finish this out, is I've talked to Lisa Munson at the Chamber of Commerce, and she's also going to embed the webcam image on the Chamber of Commerce site. With a reference, with some limited advertisements for Seaports.
So you need to go ahead and do that right now.
I do. Or we change strategy.
Well, I want to thank you very much for your work. I know that it didn't happen overnight, and we appreciate it.
My pleasure. I know you're enjoying it.
Yes, I've been watching it all weekend. Low tide, high tides, people fishing, boats coming and going.
Sunrise is really pretty.
And then you can actually see, if you look hard, you can see cars coming along Marine Street, and I think even a little bit on 98 over in the corner. But they're off in the distance. You have to watch them reflecting in the sun. So, yes, and it's you'll be able to see smooth as glass water, or the bad weather, or whatever. It's very nice. Thank you. It's a good picture. I appreciate it. And then I'll be looking forward to, in the fall, thanking you for doing the water fountain, Commissioner Walton. So that's a good thing. I appreciate it. All of this work,
How would you
everyone.
like the motion word?
To go ahead and approve $65 to, that's their estimate, I guess. Maybe we should say $100.
Up to $100.
Up to $100 to put the webcam link on the CRA website.
Well, I move that we pay up to $100 to have all that he's talking about done.
Okay, so then we have a motion by Commissioner Allen to pay up to $100 to 2K Web Group to embed this new webcam on our CRA site. And do we have a second? Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Walden. Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay, any opposed? And the motion carries. Okay, and that was really inexpensive, so if you think you might want to sometime in the future, look for a second spot, the TDC will fund half of that $504.
Well, if you want, if we want to go ahead and do that, I'll be happy to do the second one. Look for a site, search for a site, just to talk about.
And the TDC has set aside up to $1,000 to match, so that's 200.
You might want to verify how long they're going to hold that.
I will tomorrow.
Courtney has the receipts, so I don't know if you can take the receipts with you.
Okay. Okay, are you, how do you want
Hopefully
to?
we'll have to get Miranda to reimburse Rob or so, because they're gonna wanna see what the city, the CRA's paying for.
Yeah, I would think, or let me ask them tomorrow and see how they want to see probably from the CRA.
I would think, which we can get done if we get 2 signers.
Okay. 2 signers in the morning. She'll have to process the paperwork. All right. Would y'all like for Mr. Powers to just investigate another location?
Yes.
I don't mind. I mean, if you want to put the work in, I mean, it's no rush, but
That's fine.
when you can, it's a very nice picture, nice camera. I appreciate it. And so we'll just let you take a look and come back and report to us when you're ready to report. All right, then we move forward to suggestions for CRA projects for 2016-17. And we'll probably, number 1, and Bo requested, this was a kind of a chicken scratch list I had last time, and he requested for this to be distributed, so it was. And number 1, I believe that we have allocated some funding for the 4th Street crosswalk. Right now, we had allocated $45,000. Right now, there's right at $44,000. There have been some consulting fees, and we may need to allocate a little more for that. We'll know at the next meeting. And then we're going to have to allocate some money for the parking lot facility at the Marine Street Triangle. We have funding allocated for land acquisition, which that's what we'll use to purchase with, but we'll need to do that. We have agreed already to paint the world's smallest police station. That's on down the way. And we have agreed to continue the landscape and district right-of-way maintenance. That contract, we voted last year, I believe, to do that for 3 years. And that would be maintenance and repair of the irrigation system. And then we've got the billboard lease. It's in its 2nd year, and that was 3 years. And then Courtney Bay Media and the 2K Web Group, I believe that's down at the bottom there. I believe we motioned also to do that for 3 years. So we're in the 2nd year of those 2 items as well. So those items will have to be done. Now, since we're working on the CDBG project, sidewalks aren't going to be on all of those streets as of yet. They're not. That was not.
It depends on the amount of funding. I think we have a sidewalk option on each street, but it's a separate line item.
Like an unmet need.
Yes.
on each side street coming south. Every one of those from 3rd Street all the way over to.
Correct.
And if it doesn't fund, I might suggest that we fund some money, if y'all want to put sidewalks on each of those streets coming south off that Avenue B, this would be a time to do it. I'm not saying vote on it this minute, but that while that project's in progress, that would be a time to do sidewalks. And we'll know, when will we know with how many sidewalks, side street sidewalks fund?
When we bid in the spring.
Oh, in the spring.
Yes. I can go ahead and get you the ones that are slated as unmet need, because those will not be eligible for CDBG funding.
And that would probably be over in the residential.
Correct.
3rd, 4th, and 5th Streets.
I can send that over with an estimate when I send the 4th Street estimate.
Okay. When you send the sidewalk, crosswalk estimate.
Correct.
Okay. And your crosswalk project, that included a sidewalk on Northwest Avenue D on the north side of Veterans Park?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you all have any suggestions here? Of course, we have the facade grant that will continue on. Right now, your facade grant has 3 outstanding grants on it. And it had 142, but it's got 3 outstanding grants, which $40,000, somewhere around in there. So you'll probably have about 100 remaining. We have been funding it for 200 every year. Then we have the nonprofit grant, special events grant program that we have approved that will be going in the plan with an amendment, and that was for the max on that was $2,500. And right now at this point in the CRA district, we have only one certified nonprofit that would qualify for that grant, and that's the Chamber for the Holiday on the Harbor.
Is there, I'm thinking projects, but the Gulf underwater systems, whatever, and seems to be defunded. And I know who owns the bank building? I know the city doesn't own it. What used to be the bank building?
Thank you, Mr. Ken.
Is he planning on selling that?
Not that I know of. Haven't heard of it. The last time I talked with him, at least negotiating for several projects, the EP, others, to fund some projects of mowers, robot mowers, and he's got,
So he's still got the
yeah,
business going?
yeah, he's still working, his office is there, he's got people all over the state working on those things. But the building out at, the green seal is sort of going up right now.
That, yes, that bank building is privately owned.
I didn't know whether there was just rumors that he was going to, the building was going to be changed ownership.
Not that one, or if somebody puts it up for sale. It's financed through Deltona. So,
The other, I don't know how to phrase this as a project, but to do something with that Dr. Sanala property. I'm not even sure what we would do yet. I know Dan had some suggestions about, how the property could be foreclosed upon or whatever it is. I don't know whether just as a project for next year, just to try to explore that and investigate it. There might be some money to spend to do that.
What would be interesting would be if you all identify a number of properties, and then, on the private side, is a lot of what I do, is then I try and figure the puzzle out of each other, bring it to you, you all decide, hey, yeah, that's something we want to try and accomplish. That would give us options, because just what you're saying, allocating money to one of these projects, and they're just all critically, they've all got problems. But things like buying a tax, I think I don't want to get too wild and crazy as far as CRA, but tax deeds, tax certificates, different ways of acquiring property, acquiring title on it, all that. It doesn't put the CRA at risk. We can only risk there is you get the money back that put into it. That would be interesting. Because again, acquisition, we've done it. We've sold the Morehouse, we're buying Triangle. That's something that's actually, well, we get Triangle wrapped up here shortly. It's gone relatively well. That's been pretty successful. The Morehouse property where we have still owned some of it, and that's been, Sarah's made good progress on that kind of stuff.
Now, when you purchase land, or property, it needs to be, what your intentions for that need to be in the plan.
Yep.
And we do have in the plan, construction of parking facilities. So parking lot deal, construction of the parking lot is in the plan. But so if we wanted to purchase, say, GUSC, you would have to have a plan for that. Or if you want to.
And what I'm thinking is, as far as we're talking about Sonalo, like waterfront recreational property, waterfront amenities, I mean, keep it general, but have, you know, have these categories of property. Like, we know we wanted parking, we may still need parking, but we have those categories: parking, waterfront, recreational opportunities, you know, property that would afford that, and of course, cleaning up light. We haven't, which is really what Morehouse was, right? We bought it, really didn't do much to it other than try to mothball it and then sold it. They've done a great job fixing it up. So,
Could you do it for commercial dockage?
yep. Actually, when I say that, it's, we're wrestling with this right now is, you know, right now the boundary ends at the mean high water mark. So we have to figure that out, because meaning the CRA could own the uplands, but could the CRA build a dock out into the water? I don't know.
We're doing a project on the upland, we extended roadways that were in the CRA because they were part of the project that was going on in the CRA.
I mean, it makes total sense, but then we catch ourselves on the horns of the other dilemma of people wanting us, the CRA, to remove derelict vessels and that sort of thing. If we want to get in that business, the CRA money, then a little bit of research, and we're talking about the boundaries of the CRA, it is possible to put it out in the center of the river. Yeah.
And just clean up all of the riverfront, but we don't have that much money.
Money.
Finance
We got 30 years, though.
it. Yeah. 30 years. Yeah. But would that benefit the citizens of Carrabelle?
How are we going to apply for grants? That's
Well,
right.
I don't know, it might attract other businesses that would
Yeah.
employ a lot of people.
It might. Hard to say.
If
Who
you're-
would manage a commercial dock?
A dock master.
Who would pay the dock master?
Well, you could outsource it to the dockside marina or to
Right.
seaporters or to whomever, they might be interested in leasing to them, and they just ride with it. And if you expanded it, could you expand it in all the way, instead of the middle of the river, why not go to the other side of the river?
Well, I mean, something we didn't talk about, but again, I sort of, obviously, the lawyer talk, is the commercial areas is Timber Island. I mean, you have a lot of commercial activity going on over there. And I keep saying commercial, but you have low tax base on some nice stuff out there that, you know, those little units were selling for $40,000, $50,000, $100,000. All that's going up. You got definitely have a little bit of, I don't say definitely. I love driving through there. You see all those old boats up on the air, and cool. But, you know, is that an area also that you want to drive tourists and commercial activity to? And just what you're saying, that you go to the other bank of the river, do you go on, and that's coastal bayou, yeah, just how and where do you extend this area down? That's for y'all to decide. It'd be interesting.
We see this all the time, that if you're, and taken for granted, but people coming into town, when they drive Marine Street,
it's an awesome view for them.
Okay.
That's really a great asset for the city.
They think just seeing a people stop constantly to take a picture of the poor pathetic shrimp boats that are here saying, is that a shrimp boat? And I say, yes, it's a shrimp
Is
boat.
that a shrimp boat? Yeah, they takes it. Never seen one before.
They're taking pictures of it, and people love it. We need one of those, Stan Mayfield waterfront grants where we can take all of that property and do like a mini version of what they have in Appalachia, where you have commercial dockage and public park and a vendor at the end.
Yeah, they.
Okay, are there any other, does anyone else have any suggestions at this time for possible projects for next year?
Not for next year, but I noticed that we didn't put on here the youth fishing tournament.
Oh, okay. Do we want to,
She did submit a request. It
Uh-huh.
didn't have an amount in there, she was just asking us to provide what we provided last year.
Uh-huh.
I think it was 600.
500? Is she gonna submit some receipts? She knows it's a reimbursement style. It's Ms. Long. Okay, so we can bring that up under other items. I'll bring that forward. The youth fishing tournament has requested $500 to help support CRA, support their fishing tournament, just like we did the Holiday in the Harbor. And she's going to submit some receipts to get a reimbursement grant. So could we have a motion for that?
I'll motion for that.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Allen and a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and a second from Rob Powers. And any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. Is there any other items that the CRA board members would like to bring forward? Okay. Then may I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I bring something up from the public?
Yes.
Do I need a microphone? Tamara Allen, the Carrabelle History Museum, would it be approved by, would the CRA group approve our group purchasing a nice looking plastic sign that said historical kiosk to put it on the bathroom building down by the waterfront? Because, we have the historical kiosk pictures that go around the bathroom, but there's no way for people to know that it's there if they're driving down the street.
Can we put that on next year's project list?
Oh, you can, I would.
Okay. How about that?
Well, that would
Do you
be
have-
fine.
do you have- And then you can give us a price.
I was just asking permission for us to put a sign up there.
Oh, you wanted to buy it.
Well, that was my suggestion, that the Historical Society could buy it, but obviously
We could buy it probably.
probably
We could do that.
it probably at a couple
Uh,
$100, I'm thinking.
If you'll give us, like you did for the quote for I'll put that on the project list. Is that all right? Okay, so what do you want to call that? Now, what do you?
Well, I don't know, we might want to call it a history timeline, or, I think calling it a history kiosk isn't gonna mean much to some people, but like Carrabelle's
But some historical
history
signage.
Yeah, just historical signage to let people know that it's not just restroom, but it's stop your car, get out, and come look at this.
Okay, at the restroom on Marine Street.
Right, which is technically a historical kiosk. Well, thanks, I like fun with that.
All right. Just let us know. All right, so can I have a motion to adjourn then? Is there anything else from the public? We'll meet again on August 16th. A motion to adjourn, please.
Good job.
Okay, all right.
Second.
Okay, all right, so I think I heard from Commissioner Commissioner Walden, and then Mr. Powers.
I heard Alan.
Okay, all right, they both did it at the same time. I'll put Alan and Powers. All right, bye-bye.